Hi, in this video I'd just like to go over MassEffect 3 and how it looks and runs using the ENB or Reshade and SweetFX with the clear view color match settings. Now I'm also using my DSR in order to run the game in 1440p, and I'll just go to my graphics here in order to show you my settings. Now, as in the previous ME1 video and ME2 video, I'm using the 2560 by 1440p in order to play the game and record in 1440p. Now I am using a brightness of +5, however you can use the default, although I found that the game does look a bit darker because the actual base darks are coming through now. So I raised that just to kind of bring up those darker areas. Now I am using anti-aliasing as well as dynamic shadows. Now if you want film grain, which they had in the first and second game, the Reshade and SweetFX will actually support film grain using the SweetFX 2.0 settings. And you just want to go into the SweetFX settings file in the SweetFX folder and turn on the film grain there, and then you can adjust the settings as you'd like. Now I'm just going to start a default game here and kind of just take the default settings, playing it in story mode just to kind of show you how the game looks and runs when you're using the clear view color match setting. Now this setting isn't meant to actually change the coloration of the game, rather improve the look of the game by removing kind of that gray filmy layer from the game that takes away those base colors and those true blacks and true darks. So we'll just kind of play through the first part here, and I don't really want to spoil the game for you if you're a new player, so what I'll do is I'll play through the first part here right up to the actual gameplay outside when the first cinematics and kind of small introduction gameplay finishes up here. Now what's happening is the Reapers are finally invading, so you're coming to the climax of the story, and the galaxy basically is having to respond to this overwhelming threat. So as you can see, the picture is coming through quite clearly. You're getting that true black in the background, and the whites are coming through quite clearly. Now I've chosen the default game, and I did have to give up Caden in the past, so I chose Caden as the one that was lost in my previous games. So we'll run into Ashley in this startup here. But as you can see, I'll turn off the scroll lock here, and the game kind of just becomes more gray looking, and you've lost a lot of the true black color. It's become more of a grayish color in those dark areas. So I'll use the scroll lock here and re-enable it. And now as you can see, you're getting the really nice detailing on the faces and on their actual uniforms. The blacks no longer look grayed out, but you're getting a proper black separation in all the various areas. Now with the 1440p, the game does look a lot nicer, although if you choose to add any texture packs, like a lot of textures, please feel free. This will work with any texture packs or add-ons. So here we're talking to Anderson about the upcoming threat of the Reapers, and we're not really prepared for that. So we're going to go up and talk to the committee about what's going on. Now, as you can see, the game is running quite smoothly. Now, if you are using the ENB and SweetFX and you encounter any gameplay issues or micro stutters, then just check the setup video for changing the ENB series INI and set the allow anti-alias line to 0 in order to disable that and correct any gameplay issues or micro stutters that you may suffer from. Now, as far as the actual shadows on their faces and on the various characters, if you notice that your shadows on their faces come out really black, especially here, if you're playing with Ashley and you notice the shadow on her face is black rather than as you can see here, then you want to check the mod description in order to run a game repair on your game. Likely the error was caused by a bad DX install when your game was installed, and you can correct it by going over those notes. Now, as you can see, we've gotten to the council here. We're getting a really nice picture. The coloration as far as their uniforms, skin textures, the various area around us, everything's coming through quite nicely, and there's no actual color difference in the game other than we're getting a much sharper picture. And again, that's what the clear view color match is actually meant to do, rather than change the appearance of the game. It's meant to enhance the look of the game without changing the atmosphere of the game. So of course the council here, having to accept the fact of the Reapers, are now asking Shepard what we should do. Now, if you find that the game's too bright from what you're seeing here, then again, just adjust the gamma level to whatever you prefer. Now, we're just going to tell them that we have to stand together against this threat, and in a moment we'll get to see this threat firsthand.
Admiral, we've lost contact with Luna Base.
Ooh. It couldn't be that close already.
Now, as you can see, with the computer boards, everything, it's coming through quite sharp. You're not getting that blurred effect that you would get from the field of view line. So if you haven't made that alteration and you are getting an out of focus effect, then add that field of view, which can be found in the setup video, the part 2. So we'll just kind of play through here, and as I said, I'm not going to actually get into the actual gameplay of the game, as I don't really want to spoil too much, but we will play right up to that point in the game here, just so that you can kind of get a good look of what's to come and how everything should look as far as how the game will run and appear, and the shadowing and textures and such that you should expect. So the Reapers have finally landed on Earth, and our story for Shepard is about to begin. And that takes care of the committee. Now I will turn off the effects here one last time just before we end off this video, just to kind of give you a look. But I'll wait till we actually get to the outside of the building here where the gameplay starts.
Here, take this. We've got to get moving.
And that way you can just have a quick look at the what to expect for the gameplay too.
What's your status?
Now it seems like Shepard and Anderson were the only survivors in the room there. And we're about to start. Now, if you do have any issues with the game, please let me know in the comments below or on the mod itself, and I'll try and answer those as best I can. Now, I'll just turn off the effects one last time here, and that's with the scroll lock. And here we go. And as you can see, we've kind of lost that fine detail. The color doesn't look too much different, but it doesn't look quite as sharp as it did before. And I'll just turn this back on. And as you can see, now we're getting all those true base colors and the much sharper picture. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy your game. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you then. Take care.